Back to the starting lineup with Scott Purrier, Ned Reynolds, and Art Haynes on your home for the St. Louis Cardinals. 102.1 The One.
And weather permitting, those St. Louis Cardinals will play a little bit later on today, right around noontime. And you'll hear the game right here at 102.1 The One. Cardinals baseball all season long. Last night, a little extra 10-inning game won by St. Louis 6-5 over the Cleveland Guardians in a very nice win for the Cardinals and broke a losing streak. I'm Ned Reynolds along with
Scott Purrier.
And Art Haynes.
Art, you finally got, well, I shouldn't say finally because he really has only had one bad start, but you got a good start out of Cole Reagans, and your offense still just struggling still, the Royals.
I mean, one run last night, and they were 1 out away from probably winning the game 1-0. But then Nick Mears gave up a ground ball single with 2 out in the 8th to tie it, and the wild pitch actually tied it, and then that won it. It's 2 runs. You give up 2 runs, you ought to win the game, but they just can't score.
How safe is their manager's job? Is that something down the road that it might become an issue, but right now there's no concern?
Yeah, I'd say that's right. Say maybe the hitting coach is in more immediate jeopardy.
Sure. Ned, any surprises in Major League Baseball so far in your mind, looking at the standings and what some of the teams that maybe, well, the Cardinals might be one for a lot of people, being one game above 500.
Yeah, but you have to understand it's only the second 2.5 weeks into the season, and interesting things can happen. Colorado Rockies have played fairly well. Chicago White Sox have played fairly well, and these are teams that were really down and deep in disaster territory just a year ago. But the fact is that it's still early and lots of things can happen, injuries and so forth and so on. And it is a 162-game schedule. So the physical aspect of and the wear and tear on the body has to be taken into consideration as too. I'll tell you who's a big disappointment locally in his first 2 outings is Liam Doyle. Mm-hmm. My goodness, Here's a guy the Cardinals picked up, number 1 draft choice out of Tennessee, guy who was thought to be a tremendous prospect, and still may be. Don't misunderstand. That boy he didn't even make it through the first inning in last night's game in Wichita.
Looking at the standings, the Pirates and the Reds are tied at 10-7 each, leading the NL Central.
Pirates are another one, yeah.
Yeah, and the Pirates, everybody's like, well, it's a fluke, but they did go out and spend some money offensively. They got Ryan O'Hearn in, and he's just a professional hitter. What's the Lau from Tampa Bay, the second Brandon Lau came in, and he's got
Connor Griffin.
Yeah, Connor Griffin. They brought him up, and he's doing your usual rookie struggles, but they got some guys that can hit and have hit to go with what looks like a pretty good young pitching staff, and maybe they're not such a big surprise. Tampa Bay Rays at 9-7. Leading the AL East. That's another team that had kind of gutted some of their talent and pretty much only Junior Caminero in that lineup. And then the other one, Art, I know you're probably a little surprised to see the Minnesota Twins at 11-7 leading the AL Central.
Yeah, here last week they swept the Tigers, I think, in a 4-game series. So that's really surprising. You look at the Twins lineup and not very impressive, but last night Byron Buxton woke up and went 4 for 4 with 2 homers, so he kind of turned things around. Let me also mention the Royals can't hit, but Bobby Witt Jr. continues to be a wizard in the field. Last night, he went out in the mid-left field and made an over-the-shoulder catch like Willie Mays on a pop-up that was a Texas leaguer, but he took care of it.
And, of course, the highlight story tonight, the Bears and the Tigers. Bears lose 5-2 up there last Tuesday night in the first game in the series, home and home between the two. If they play today, probably don't expect a similar total 7 runs type game. Would you think it'd get back to the normal 10-9 Hammondsfield special?
Well, depends on the conditions. I mean, if it's raining and the wind blowing in from left field, then no. But we'll just have to see. The midweek games, would tend to be more high scoring because you don't use your weekend starters. But I think it would be higher scoring than last week.
I just hope they get to play the game. That's the key.
I do too.
And because it is a big one. And then the Folds of Honor, of course, the event going on out there, which honors the veterans and the first responders. Kirk Elmquist, did you hear Kirk on the air with us earlier?
No.
He was here, did a great job of promoting what's going on. And the couple of individuals from Christian County will be honored there as first responders who were involved in that manhunt several weeks ago.
Right.
But it's such a big deal and such a presentation to the public of what the vets have done and what the first responders do. That kind of public recognition doesn't happen every day, and it really needs to, because these are people who have donated, and that makes the big difference. So hopefully that'll all go on. And as Kirk mentioned too, the tailgating is going to be done at Billiards of Springfield, which is right across from Shrine Mosque, and that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you're looking at the radar, this is your typical rain system that's moving up I-44 from down in Oklahoma, just basically coming along the interstate, and continues to kind of just regenerate back there in southern Oklahoma and northern Texas. So that would be the one that would be here this afternoon if it continues. And kind of looking at the hour by hour, they're now saying that cloudy pretty much from 10 till about 4, and then it gets to 50% and above chance for scattered storms 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then showers the rest of the night. So I don't know. I mean,
well, if it's coming up I-44, just change the road map and steer them off to the north or south.
Move up to, Rolla and play or something. Get out ahead of it. But anyway, we'll see.
Scott,
yeah,
that's what Oklahoma's good for to us. They send us blizzards and storms.
Absolutely. That's the only two redeeming qualities there. So, hey, let's take a timeout, and we'll come back and talk with Scott Nasby on the other side.
And we will be back in just a split second.
You're listening to The Starting Lineup with Scott Puryear, Ned Reynolds, and Art Haynes on 102.1 The One.